Trevor, you often talk about knowing what type of performance you're going to have ahead of the game. How are you feeling coming into this game today?
I felt fantastic, honestly. Yeah, physically I felt great. Everything was in a great spot.
And you've had a lot of success here at Dodger Stadium tonight. Wasn't necessarily your night. What was different about today?
Just kind of a weird game in some ways. That third inning just kind of got off to a bad start there, obviously, and then had to throw a lot of pitches and just kind of got behind the eight ball. Obviously, in the next inning, walk and a homer. But going through, I was 6 innings, 2 earned, and going out for the 7th, I felt great. I think I finally found my rhythm there in the 5th and the 6th, and I felt confident going out for the 7th. Unfortunately, just got in some bad counts, or really one bad count there to Calhoun, and ended up paying for it. Both the double and Calhoun scored, and then the game kind of got out of hand. But it was a little bit shaky early on, fighting my command a little bit, and then I think I actually threw the ball pretty well.
Thanks, Trevor.
Next question is from JP Hornstra. Go ahead.
Hey, Trevor, when you talk about fighting your command, was it one pitch in particular or just in general?
Just in general, I think I missed with some fastballs, some cutters. Really, the one that hurt tonight was I couldn't consistently land my curveball. So it just kind of put me to lefties. I didn't really have that pitch I could land. I seemed to land it fine to righties, but for whatever reason to lefties I couldn't land it. So that was really the one that was the most difficult to kind of navigate around.
A couple uncharacteristic starts here for you back to back. What's your feeling going into coming off of this one? Any adjustments that you need to make prior to your next start?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely adjustments. I gotta land my curveball. I just gotta be better about that. But like tonight could have been just little things in baseball. Like tonight could have looked a lot different. If I get through the 7th inning there, it's 7 innings, 2 earned runs, and the conversation's a lot different. Probably if the 3rd inning doesn't get as wacky as it does, kind of to start off there, then it saves me a lot of pitches and changes the way the lineup stacks up. So as the season goes along, you're going to have outings like this. Things aren't always going to go your way. And as a competitor, you got to find a way to get around it and continue to be successful, give the team a chance to win. And I just didn't do a good enough job of that tonight.
Last one for me. After your last start, you were asked if you had heard from MLB or the Players Association about how or if a foreign substances ban would be enforced. You said you'd heard a lot, but it was changing day to day. Nobody knew what the rules were. Has any of that changed since Sunday in Atlanta?
No.
Okay. Thanks, Trevor.
People still have heard a lot and are hearing a lot, and no one seems to know what the rules are. So hopefully we get some clarity on all that stuff.
Thank you.
Next question is from Fabiana Daya. Go ahead.
Hey, Trevor, you mentioned the 3rd inning there. I mean, who tipped you guys off on the appeal play at 3rd? Was that something that you noticed, Justin noticed, or heard from the dugout?
I'm not sure if Justin heard from the dugout or not, but Justin's the one that tipped me off. Maybe he heard from the dugout or not, but whoever saw it is, very savvy and obviously helped out a lot there.
How difficult was it I know you mentioned it a little bit, but to navigate that sort of an inning where it's sort of herky-jerky and obviously have the appeal play and then the inning ends on a review. I mean, how difficult is that navigating that and try to find that rhythm that you said you found later on in the outing?
Yeah, it's difficult. I mean, starting off an inning, there's obviously the pop up, and as it's hit, you're like, okay, that's an out, and then it's not. So it just gets behind. In my head, I'm just a little bit behind the eight ball there, and I think I allowed myself to get frustrated instead of just getting competitive, and then the inning kind of spiraled from there, and that's my fault. I gotta be better about staying in the right mindset there. It happened a couple other times in the game that didn't really cost me, but just on some of the little hits through the shift. And I got to be better about that.
Thanks, Trevor.